Good evening. I'm Jim Schneider, the Artistic Director of Horizon Showcase Theater. Thank you for your patience. I would like to offer you all comp tickets to this evening's performance of Hollywood, which is at 11:30. So any of you that are able to stick around, you get to see the show free. It stars Betty Davis and Tallulah Bankhead, and it really is a wonderful show. It lasts about an hour, so you'll be out of here by 12:30. This evening's performance has been made possible by a generous grant from American Express. And being a new theater, that is very, very crucial to our existence, and I thank them for that. Thank you very much, and enjoy the show.
They're late, naturally.
Of course they're late. Never fail.
That's the way things are today. There's nothing you can do about it.
You're quite right.
When we took this apartment, they were quick enough to have me sign the lease. They were quick enough to take my check for 2 months rent in advance.
And 1 month security.
And 1 month security. They were quick enough to check my references. They were quick enough about all that. But now try to get the icebox fixed. Or try to get the doorbell fixed. Try to get the leak in the Johnny fixed. Just try it. They aren't so quick about that.
Of course not. People think they can get away with anything these days, and of course they can. I went to buy a new hat yesterday. I said I went to buy a new hat yesterday.
Oh, yes.
Pay attention.
I am paying attention, Mommy.
All right now, Daddy. You sure?
Oh, I'm sure.
All right. Now, are you listening?
I'm listening, Mommy.
You sure?
Yes, I'm sure. I'm all ears.
All right now. I went to buy a new hat yesterday, and I said, I'd like a new hat, please. And so they showed me some hats, some green ones and blue ones, and I didn't like any of them, not one bit. What did I say? What did I just say?
You didn't like any of them, not one bit.
That's right. You just keep paying attention. So they showed me one I did like, and it was a lovely little hat, and I said, oh my, this is a lovely little hat. I'll take this hat. What color is it? And they said, why, this hat is beige. Isn't it a lovely little beige hat? And I said, oh my, it's lovely, so I bought it.
And so you bought it?
And so I bought it. And I walked out of the store with the hat right on my head and ran spang into the chairman of our women's club, and she said, why, my dear, what a lovely little hat. Where did you get that lovely little hat? It's the loveliest little hat. I've always wanted a wheat-colored hat myself. And I said, why, my dear, this hat is beige. Beige? She laughed and she said, well, my dear, that is a wheat-colored hat. Wheat. I know beige from wheat. And I said, well, my dear, I know beige from wheat, too. What did I say? What did I just say?
Well, my dear, I know beige from wheat, too.
That's right. And then she laughed and she said, well, my dear, they certainly put one over on you. That's wheat if ever I saw wheat, but it's lovely just the same. And she walked off. She's a dreadful woman. You don't know her. She has dreadful taste, 2 dreadful children, a dreadful house, and an absolutely adorable husband who sits in a wheelchair all day. You don't know him. You don't know anyone, do you? Well, she is just a dreadful woman, but she's chairman of our women's club, so naturally, I'm very fond of her. So, I went right back in the hat shop and I said, look here, what do you mean selling me a hat you say is beige, when it's wheat all the time? Wheat! I'd know beige from wheat any day of the week, but not in this artificial light of yours. Daddy, they have artificial light.
Have they?
Yes. And I said the minute I got outside, I could tell this was not a beige hat at all. It was a wheat hat. And they said, well, how could you tell something like that when you had the hat on top of your head? That made me angry. And so I made a scene. I screamed as hard as I could, and I threw my hat down on the counter, and I made a terrible scene. I said I made a terrible scene.
Yes, good for you.
I made an absolutely terrible scene, and they became frightened, and they said, oh, madam, oh, madam. But I kept right on, and finally they admitted that they might have made a mistake. So they took my hat in the back, and they came out with one that looked exactly like it. And I took one look at that hat, and I said, well, this is a wheat-colored hat. Wheat! And of course they said, why no, madam, this hat is beige. Go outside and see. So I went outside, and lo and behold, it was beige. So I bought it.
I would imagine that it was the same hat they tried to sell you before.
Well, of course it was.
That's the way things are today. You just can't get satisfaction. You just try.
Well, I got satisfaction.
Well, that's right, Mommy. You did get satisfaction, didn't you?
Why are they late? I don't know what could be keeping them.
I've been trying for 2 weeks to have the leak in the Johnny fixed.
Well, can't get satisfaction, just try. I can get satisfaction, but you can't.
Well, I've been trying for 2 weeks. And it isn't so much for my sake. I can always go to the club.
Well, it isn't so much for my sake. I can always go shopping.
It's really for Grandma's sake.
Well, of course it's for Grandma's sake. Grandma cries, though, every time she goes to the Johnny as it is now. Now that it doesn't work, it's even worse. Makes Grandma think she's getting feeble-headed.
Grandma is getting feeble-headed.
Well, of course Grandma's getting feeble-headed. But not about her Johnny dues.
No, that's true. I must have it fixed.
Why are they late? I don't know what could be keeping
When
them.
they came here the first time, they were 10 minutes early. They were quick enough about it then.
Well, Grandma, what is all that you're carrying?
The boxes. What do they look like?
Daddy, look at Grandma. Look at all the boxes she's carrying.
My goodness, Grandma, look at all those boxes.
Well, where'll I put them?
Heavens, I don't know. What are they for?
That's nobody's damn business.
Well, then, in that case, put them next to Daddy. There.
I sure wish you'd get the John fixed.
Oh, I do wish they'd come and fix it. We hear them for hours, whimpering away.
Daddy, what a terrible thing to say to Grandma.
For shame talking to me that way.
I'm sorry, Grandma.
Daddy, sorry, Grandma.
Well, all right. In that case, I'll go get the rest of the boxes. Oh, I suppose I deserve being talked to that way. I've gotten so old. Most people think when you get so old, you either freeze to death or you burn up, but you don't. When you get so old, all that happens is people talk to you that way.
I said I'm sorry, Grandma.
Daddy, sorry, Grandma.
Well, that's all that counts, people being sorry. Makes you feel better. It gives you a sense of dignity, and that's what's important, a sense of dignity. It doesn't matter whether you don't care or not either. You've got to have a sense of dignity, even if you don't care. Because if you don't have that, civilization's doomed.
You've been reading my book club selection again.
How dare you read Mommy's book club selection, Grandma?
Because I'm old. When you're old, you got to do something. When you're old, you can't talk to people because they snap at you. You get so old, people talk to you that way. That's why you become deaf. So you won't be able to hear people talking to you that way. That's why you go and crawl under the covers in the big soft bed so you won't feel the house shaking from people talking to you that way. That's why old people die eventually. People talking to them that way. Well, I got to go get the rest of the boxes.
Poor Grandma. I didn't mean to hurt her.
Oh, don't worry about it. Grandma doesn't know what she means.
She knows what she says, though.
Don't worry about it. She won't know that soon. I love Grandma.
I love her, too. Look how nicely she wrapped these boxes.
Grandma has always wrapped boxes nicely. When I was a little girl, I was very poor. And Grandma was very poor, too, because Grandpa was in heaven. And every day when I went to school, Grandma would wrap a box for me. And I used to take it with me to school. And at lunchtime, all the little boys and girls, they would take out their boxes of lunch. And they weren't wrapped nicely at all. And they'd open them and eat their chicken legs and chocolate cake. And I used to say, "Ooh, look at my lovely lunchbox. Isn't it nicely wrapped?" It would break my heart to open it, so I wouldn't open it.
Because it was empty.
No! Grandma always filled it up. But she never ate the dinner she cooked the night before. She gave me all her food for my lunchbox the next day. And then I would eat all the other little boys and girls' food at school because they thought my lunchbox was empty. They thought my lunchbox was empty, and that's why I wouldn't open it. They thought I suffered from the sin of pride, and since that made them better than me, they were very generous.
You were a very deceitful little girl.
We were very poor! But then I married you, Daddy, and now we're very rich!
Grandma isn't rich.
Well, you've been so good to Grandma, she feels rich. She doesn't know you want to put her away in a nursing home.
I wouldn't.
Well, heaven knows I would. I cannot stand it watching her do the cooking and the cleaning, polishing the silver, moving the furniture.
She likes to do all that. She says it's the least she can do to earn her keep.
Well, she's right. Can't live off of people. Well, I can live off of you because I married you. And aren't you lucky that all I brought with me was Grandma? I mean, a lot of women I know would have brought their whole families to live off of you, but all I brought was Grandma. And Grandma's all the family I have.
I feel very fortunate.
You should. I have the right to live off of you because I married you and because I used to let you get on top of me and bump your uglies. And I have the right to all your money when you die. And when you do, Grandma and I can live by ourselves. If she's still here. Unless you put her away in a nursing home.
I have no intention of putting her in a nursing home.
Well, I wish somebody would do something with her!
Well, at any rate, you're very well provided for.
Oh, that's very sweet, Daddy. You're very nice.
I love my mommy.
Well, here's the lot of them.
They're wrapped so nicely.
You won't get on my sweet side that way.
Grandma!
Tell me how nicely I wrapped the boxes. Not after how you said I whimpered for hours.
Grandma!
Shut up! You don't have any feeling. That's what's wrong with you. Old people make all sorts of noises. Half of them they can't help. Old people whimper and cry and belch and make great hollow rumbling noises at the table. Old people wake up in the middle of the night screaming. Find out they haven't even been asleep. Or asleep, they try to wake up and they can't, not for the longest time.
Homilies.
And there's more too.
I'm really very sorry, Grandma.
I know your daddy. It's Mommy over there that causes all the trouble. You listen to me. You wouldn't have married her in the first place. She was nothing but a tramp and a troll and a troll to boot, and she's no better now.
Grandma!
Shut up! No more than 8 years old, she used to climb up on my lap and say in a sickening little voice, "When I grow up, I'm gonna marry a witch old man. I'm gonna set my little wit and wipe down in a tub of butter. That's what I'm going to do." I warned you, Daddy. I told you not to do anything with her type. I told you to. I did.
Grandma! You stop that now. You are my mother, not his.
I ain't.
That's right, Grandma. Mommy's right.
Well, how could you expect somebody as old as I am to remember a thing like that? You don't make allowances for people. I want an allowance. I want an allowance.
All right, Grandma. I'll see to it.
I'm ashamed of you, Grandma.
Fine time for you to say that. That's the way you felt about it. You should have gotten rid of me a long time ago. You should have had Daddy here and set me up in some kind of a business somewhere. I could have gone into the fur business. Or I could have become a singer. No, not you. You wanted me around so that you could sleep in my room when Daddy got fresh. Well, that isn't important anymore because Daddy doesn't want to get fresh with you anymore, and I don't blame him. You'd rather sleep with me, wouldn't you, Daddy?
Daddy doesn't want to sleep with anyone. He's been sick.
I've been sick. I don't even want to sleep in the apartment.
See, I told you.
I just want to get everything over with.
That's right. Why are they late? Why can't they get here on time?
Ooh,
singer?
Oh, that was ages ago. I just forgot to tell you. Oh, goodness. Here they are.
Who?
Oh, just some people.
Band people? Is it the band people? Have you finally done it? Have you called the band people to come and take me away?
Of course not, Grandma.
Oh, don't be too sure. She'd have you carted away too. She thought she could get away with it.
Pay no attention to her, Daddy. My God, you're ungrateful.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Just wait. I'm going to fix your wagon. Well, go let them in, Daddy. What are you waiting for?
I think we should talk about it some more. Maybe we've been hasty. A little hasty, perhaps. But I'd like to talk about it some more.
There's no need. You've made up your mind. You were firm, masculine, and decisive.
We might consider the pros and the cons.
I won't argue with you. You're right. It has to be done. Open the door.
I'm not sure.
Open the door.
Was I firm about it?
Oh, so firm. So firm.
And was I decisive?
So decisive. I shivered.
And masculine? Was I really masculine?
Oh, Daddy, you were so masculine. I shivered and fainted. Shivered and fainted. Be quiet.
Oh, people have a right to talk to themselves. It doesn't hurt the gums and it's comforting.
I shall now open the door.
What a masculine daddy. Isn't he a masculine daddy?
Don't expect me to say anything. Old people are obscene.
Some of your opinions aren't so bad. You know that?
Maybe we could send them away.
Look at you. Turning into jelly. You're indecisive. You're a woman.
All right, watch me now. I'm going to open the door. Watch. Watch.
We're watching. We're watching.
I'm not.
Watch now. It's opening. It's open. Here they are.
Here they are.
Where?
Come in. You're late, but of course we expected you to be late. We were just saying that we expected you to be late.
Don't be rude, Daddy. What we were saying is you can't get satisfaction these days. And of course we were talking about you. Won't you come in?
Thank you. I don't mind if I do.
We're so glad you're here, late as you are. You do remember us, don't you? I'm Mommy. This is Daddy, and that's Grandma doddering over there in the corner.
Hello, Mommy. Hello, Daddy. And hello there, Grandma.
Now that you're here, I don't suppose you could go away and maybe come back some other time.
Oh, no. We're much too efficient for that. I said hello there, Grandma.
Speak to them, Grandma.
I don't see them.
Shame, Grandma, they're here.
Yes, we're here, Grandma. I'm Mrs. Barker. I remember you. Don't you remember me? I don't recall. Maybe you were younger or something.
Grandma, what a terrible thing to say.
Oh, now don't scold her, Mommy. For all she knows, she may be right.
Mrs. Barker, is it? Won't you sit down?
I don't mind if I do.
Yes, would you like a cigarette and a drink, and would you like to cross your legs?
Now, you forget yourself, Mommy. I'm a professional woman. But I will cross my legs.
Yes, make yourself comfortable.
I don't mind if I do. Are they still here?
Be quiet, Grandma.
Oh, we're still here. My, what an unattractive apartment you have.
Yes, but you don't know what trouble it is. Let me tell you.
I was
Mom.
saying to Mommy
I know. I was listening outside.
about the icebox and the doorbell.
And the Johnny. We're very efficient in our work. We have to know everything.
Exactly what do you do?
Yes, what is your work?
Well, my dear, for one thing, I'm chairman of your women's club.
Don't be ridiculous. I was just talking to the chairman of our women's club only yesterday. Why, so you are. Do you remember, Daddy, the lady I was telling you about? The lady whose husband sits in a swing? Do you remember?
No.
Of course you do. I'm so sorry, Mrs. Barker. I would have known you anywhere except in this artificial light. And you have a hat just like the one I bought yesterday.
Oh, no, not really. This hat is cream.
Well, my dear, that may look like a cream hat to you, but I can tell you
Now,
that...
you seem to forget who I am.
Yes, I do, don't I? Are you sure you're comfortable? Won't you take off your dress?
I don't mind if I do.
more comfortable.
Well, I certainly look a great deal more comfortable.
I'm going to blush and giggle.
Daddy's gonna blush and giggle.
You're lucky to have such a man for a husband.
Don't I know it?
I just blushed and giggled and went sticky wet.
Isn't Daddy a caution, Miss Barker?
Maybe if I smoke.
No, really, that isn't
I
necessary.
don't mind.
No, really, really.
I don't mind.
I won't have you smoking in this house, and that's that. Besides, you're a professional woman.
Grandma drinks and smokes, don't you, Grandma?
No.
Well, now suppose you tell us exactly why you're here.
The boxes, the
Oh,
boxes.
speak.
The boxes, Dad.
What did you say, Grandma?
Boxes. Boxes. She said boxes. She mentioned the box.
What about the boxes, Grandma? Maybe Mrs. Barker is here because of the boxes? Is that what you meant, Grandma?
I don't know whether it's what I meant or not. Certainly not what I thought I meant.
Grandma is of the opinion
Can
that
we assume that the boxes are for us? I mean, can we assume that you called us here for the boxes?
Are you in the habit of receiving boxes?
A very good question.
Well, that would depend on the reason we're here. I have my fingers in so many little pies, you know. Now, I can think of one of my little activities in which we are in the habit of receiving baskets, but more in a literary sense than really. We might receive boxes, though, under very special circumstances. I'm afraid that's the best answer I can give you.
It's a very interesting answer.
I thought so, but does it help?
I'm afraid not.
I wonder if it might help us any if I said that I feel misgivings, that I have definite qualms.
Where, Daddy?
Well, mostly right here, right around where the stitches were.
Daddy had an operation, you know.
Oh, you poor Daddy. I didn't know, but then how could I? Well, you could have asked. It wouldn't hurt you.
Dry up, Grandma.
Oh, there you go again, being your true self. Old people aren't dry enough, I suppose. My sacks are empty, the fluid in my eyeballs is all caked on the inside edges. My spine is sugar candy. I breathe ice. But you don't hear me complain. Nobody hears old people complain because people think that's all that old people do. That's because we're gnarled and sagged and twisted into the shape of a complaint. That's all. What was wrong, Daddy?
Well, you know how it is. The doctors took out something that was there and put in something that wasn't. An operation.
You were fortunate, I should say.
Oh, he is. All his life, Daddy has wanted to become a United States Senator, and now he's changed his mind, and for the rest of his life, he'll want to be a governor. Well, it is near the apartment, you know.
You are fortunate, Daddy.
Yes, indeed. Except that I get these qualms now and then. Definite ones.
Well, it's just a matter of things settling. You're like an old house.
Daddy, thank her.
Thank you.
Ambition, that's the ticket. I have a brother who is very much like you, Daddy. Ambitious. Of course, he's a great deal younger than you are. He's even younger than I am, if such a thing is possible. He runs a little newspaper. It's just a little newspaper, but he runs it. He's chief cook and bottle washer for that little newspaper, which he calls the Village Idiot. He has such a sense of humor. He's so self-deprecating, so modest. He's never admitted himself, but he is the Village Idiot.
Oh, I think that's grand, don't you think so, Daddy?
Yes, just grand.
My brother is a dear man, and he has a dear little wife whom he loves dearly. He loves her so much, he can't get a sentence out without mentioning her. He wants everybody to know he's married. He's really a stickler on that point. He can't be introduced to anyone and say hello without adding, "Of course, I'm married." As far as I'm concerned, he is the chief exponent of woman love in this whole country. He's even been written up in psychiatric journals because of it.
Indeed.
Isn't that lovely?
Oh, I think so. As far as I'm concerned, there's too much woman hatred in the country, and that's a fact.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, I think that's grand. Don't you think so, Daddy?
Yes, just grand.
In case anybody's interested.
Be quiet, Grandma.
Nuts!
You must forgive Grandma. She's rural.
I don't mind if I do.
Maybe Grandma has something to say.
Nonsense. Old people had nothing to say, and if old people did have something to say, no one would listen. See, I can pull the same stuff as easy as you can.
Well, you got the rhythm, but you don't have the quality. learn.
Do wish I weren't surrounded by women. I'd like some men around here.
Oh, you can say that again. Look, I don't really count as a woman, so can I say my piece?
Go on, jabber away.
Well, the truth is that these boxes here don't have anything to do with why this good lady has come to call. Now, if you're interested in knowing why these boxes are here...
I'm sure that all must be very true, Grandma. But what does it have to do with why, pardon me, what is that name again?
Mrs. Barker.
Exactly. What does it have to do with why... That name again?
Mrs. Barker.
Precisely. What does it have to do with why what's-her-name is here?
They're here because we asked them.
Yes, that's why. Now, if you're interested in knowing why these boxes are
Well,
here...
nobody is interested.
You give me a snippet as you like for all the good it'll do
You
you.
two will have to stop arguing.
Oh, I don't argue with
It
her.
will just have to stop.
Well, then why don't you go call a bandman and have her taken away?
Don't bother. There's no need.
No, now, perhaps I could go away myself.
Well, one way or the other. The way things are now, it's impossible. In the first place, it's too crowded in this apartment, and it's you that takes up all the space with your enema bottles and pickaninnies and God only knows what else. And now these boxes.
These boxes
I've
are...
never heard of enema bottles.
Oh, she means enema bags. But she doesn't know the difference. Mommy comes from extremely bad stock. And besides that, when Mommy was born, well, it was a difficult delivery. And her head was shaped like a banana.
God, you're ungrateful. Do you see that, Daddy? You see how ungrateful she is after all we've done for her, after all these years. One of these days you're going away in a band. What's going to happen to you?
Do tell. Like a banana. Yup, just like a banana.
Mommy, my word! You stop listening to her. She'll say anything. Just the other day she called Daddy a hedgehog.
She didn't. Oh, that's right, baby. Stick up for me.
I don't know where she gets these words on television, maybe.
Did you really call him a hedgehog? Oh, what difference does it make whether I did or not?
Grandma's right. Leave Grandma alone.
How dare you?
Oh, Daddy, leave her alone. The kid's all mixed up.
You see, Daddy, it's her television shows. Now you go right into Grandma's room and you take that television and just shut those tubes loose.
Don't mention tubes to me.
Oh, Mommy forgot. Daddy has tubes where he used to have tracks.
Is that a fact? I know why this good lady is here.
Be still.
Oh, I do wish you'd tell me.
Oh, no, that wouldn't be fair at all.
Besides, she knows why she's here. She's here because we called them.
Look! But that still leaves me puzzled. I know I'm here because you called us. But I'm such a busy girl with this committee and that committee and the responsible citizens' activities I indulge in.
Why? Busy.
Oh, yes, indeed. So I'm afraid you're going to have to give me some help.
No, I think you must be mistaken. I don't think we asked you here to give you any help. What with the way taxes are these days and the way you can't get satisfaction on anything? No, I doubt it.
Right, if you need help, why, I should think you'd apply for a Fulbright scholarship.
And if not that, a Guggenheim Fellowship.
Oh, why not shoot the works and try for the prix de rose? Beast.
Oh, what a jolly family. Oh, but let me think. I'm knee-deep in work these days. There's the Ladies Auxiliary Air Raid Committee, for one thing. How do you feel about air raids?
I think we're hostile.
Yes, definitely, we're hostile.
Oh, well, then you'll be no help there. There's too much hostility in the world these days as it is. But I'll not badger you. There's a circuit of badgers as well.
Well, while we're at it, there's been a run on old people, too. The Department of Agriculture, it wasn't the Department of Agriculture. Well, anyway, it's some department that's run by a girl, has put out figures showing that 90% of the adult population of this country is made up of people over 80 years old. Over 80% is made up of people over 90 years old.
You're such a liar. You just got through saying everyone was middle-aged.
Well, I'm just telling you what the government said. That doesn't have
You see,
anything.
Daddy? It's her television. Go break her television.
You won't find
If
it.
I must, I must.
And don't step on the pickaninnies. It's blind.
It may be blind, but Daddy's not.
You won't find it either.
I am so fortunate to have married such a man. I could have married a man who was poor or argumentative or one who sat in a wheelchair all day.
don't think about it, really.
You're quite right. I won't think about it that way. I'll forget I ever said it, and that way it'll be all right. There, I've forgotten about it. Well, now that Daddy's out of the room, we can have our little girl talk.
I'm not sure that I...
You do want to have some girl talk, don't you?
No, I was going to say, I'm not sure that I wouldn't care for a glass of water. I feel a little faint.
Grandma, go get Miss Barker a glass of water.
Oh, get it yourself. I quit.
Grandma loves to do little things around the house. It gives her a false sense of security.
I quit. I'm through.
Well, you better behave yourself. You know what'll happen. Away you'll go in a van.
You don't frighten me. I'm too old to be frightened. Besides,
I'll tend to you later then. I'll hide your tail. I'll take...
everything's hidden.
I am going to faint, I am.
Oh, good heavens, I'll go myself. And I will take care of you later.
Oh, go soak your head. Well, dearie, how do you feel?
A little better, I think. Oh, yes, much better. Thank you, Grandma.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, but I still feel so lost not knowing why I'm here, and on top of it, they say I've been here before.
But it have been. Oh, well, not here exactly, because we move around a lot from one apartment to another, up and down the social ladder, like mice. If you like similes.
I don't particularly.
Well, then I'm sorry.
Oh, Grandma, I feel that I can trust you.
Oh, don't be too sure. It's every man for himself around this place.
Oh, is it? Well, nonetheless, I still feel I can trust you. Please, tell me why they called and asked us to come. I implore you.
Oh, that feels so good. It's been so long since anybody implored me. Do it again. Implore me some more.
Oh, you're your daughter's mother, all
Oh, I
right.
don't mean to be hard, but if you won't implore me, then ask me or beg me or entreat me, just anything like that.
You're a dreadful old woman.
Oh, you'll understand someday. Please.
Oh, for heaven's sake. I implore you. I beg you. I beseech you.
Beseech! Oh, that's the nicest word I've heard in ages. You're a dear, sweet woman. You beseech me. I just can't resist that.
Well, then, why did they ask us to come?
Well, I'll give you a hint. That's the best I can do because I'm a muddle-headed old woman. But now you listen because it's important. Once upon a time, not too very long ago, oh, long enough ago, about 20 years ago, there was a man very much like Daddy and a woman very much like Mommy who were married to each other, very much like Mommy and Daddy are married to each other. And they lived in an apartment very much like one that's very much like this one. And they lived with an old woman very much like yours truly, only younger then because it was some time ago. In fact, they were all somewhat younger.
How fascinating.
Well, now, at the same time, there was a dear lady, very much like you, only younger then, who did all sorts of good works. And one of the good works this dear lady did was in something very much like a volunteer capacity for an organization very much like the Bye-Bye Adoption Service, which is nearby and which was run by a terribly deaf old woman, very much like the Miss Bye-Bye who runs the Bye-Bye Adoption Service nearby.
How enthralling.
Well, be that as it may, nonetheless, one afternoon, this man, who's very much like Daddy, and this woman, who's very much like Mommy, came to call on this dear lady who did all the good works, very much like you, dear. And they were very sad, and they were very hopeful, and they cried and smiled and bit their fingers and said the most intimate things.
How spellbinding, what did
Well,
they say?
it was really very sweet. The woman, who was very much like Mommy, said that she and the man, who was very much like Daddy, had never been blessed with anything very much like a bumble of joy.
A what?
A bumble of joy. Oh, And then the man, who was very much like Daddy, said, yes, they had one, a bundle of their own, but that the woman, who was very much like mine, couldn't have one. So now they wanted to buy something very much like a bundle.
How engrossing.
So the dear lady, who was very much like you, said something very much like, what a shame. But take heart. I think we have just the bundle for you. And they cried and smiled and bit their fingers and said some more intimate things which were totally irrelevant, which were pretty hot stuff. And so did the dear lady, who was very much like you and who had something very much of a penchant for pornography, listened with something very much like enthusiasm. Whee! She cried, whoopee! But that's beside the point.
I suppose so, but how ripping.
Well, anyway, they bought something very much like a bundle and took it away with them. Things didn't work out well.
You mean there was trouble?
You got it. But I'm going to have to speed this up now because I think I'll be leaving soon.
Oh, are you really?
Yep.
But old people don't go anywhere. They're either put places or taken places.
Well, this old person is different. Anyway, things started going badly.
Yes, oh yes.
Well, in the first place, it turned out Bumble didn't look like either one of his parents. And as if that weren't enough of a blow, things got worse. One night, it cried its heart out, if you can imagine such a thing.
Cried its heart out. Well,
Oh, that was only the beginning. Then it turned out it had eyes only for its daddy.
for its daddy? Why, any self-respecting woman would have gouged those eyes right out of its head.
Oh, she did. That's exactly what she did. But then it kept its nose in the air.
How disgusting.
That's what they thought. But then it began to develop an interest in its you-know-what.
You know what? Well, I hope they cut its hands off at the wrists.
Well, they did eventually. But first they cut off its you-know-what.
A much better idea.
Oh, that's what they thought. But then even after they cut off its you-know-what, it still put its hands under the covers looking for its you-know-what. So finally they had to cut off its hands at the wrists.
Naturally.
And it was such a rebelling Bumble. Why, one day it called his mommy a dirty name.
Well, I hope they cut its tongue out.
Oh, of course. And then as it got bigger, they found out all sorts of terrible things about it. It didn't have a head on its shoulders. It didn't have any guts. It was spineless. Its feet were made of clay. Just dreadful things.
Dreadful.
So you can understand how they became discouraged.
I certainly can. What did they do?
What did they do? Well, as a last straw, it finally up and died. Well, you can imagine how that made them feel. They hadn't paid for it and all. So they called up the lady who had sold them the Bumble in the first place and told her to come right over to their apartment. They wanted satisfaction. They wanted their money back. That's what they wanted.
My.
So, how do you like them apples?
My.
Mommy, I can't find Grandma's television set, and I can't find the Pekingese either.
Isn't that funny? I can't find the water.
I told them everything was hidden.
Did you hide the water too?
Well, no, I didn't do
The
that.
truth of the matter is, I can't even find Grandma's room.
My, you certainly did hide things, didn't you?
Sure, kid, sure.
Can you believe it? Daddy can't find the television. He can't find the Pekingese. And the truth of the matter is, he can't even find Grandma's room.
Well, I told you I hid everything.
Look, don't be ridiculous. Just wait till I get my hands on you. You're a troublemaker. That's what you are.
Well, I'll be out of here pretty soon, baby.
Well, you don't know how right you are. Daddy's been wanting to send you away for a long time now, but I've been restraining him. But I can tell you one thing, I am sick and tired of all this fighting. I just might let Daddy have his way, and then you know what'll happen? Away you'll go in a van. Yep, I'm gonna let Daddy call van man.
I'm way ahead of you.
How can you be so old and so smug at the same time? You have no sense of proportion.
I don't see what Grandma has to do with it. Besides, I don't think you're very polite.
Well, you seem to forget you're a guest in this house.
Apartment?
Apartment! And that you're a professional woman. So if you'll be so good as to come out into the kitchen, I'll be more than happy to show you where the water is and where a glass is, and then you can put two and two together if you're clever enough.
I suppose she's right.
Well, that's how it is when people ask you over to do something for them.
I suppose you're right, too. Well, Grandma, it's been very nice talking to you.
Oh, and I've enjoyed listening. Say, don't tell Mommy or Daddy I gave you that hint, will you?
Oh! The hint! Oh, I'd almost forgotten about it. If such a thing is possible. Oh, no, I won't breathe a word to either of them.
Oh, I don't know if it helped any.
I can't tell yet. I'm going to have to... Oh, what is the word I want? I'm going to have to relate. That's it. I'm going to have to relate it to what I know. And draw conclusions. I'm going to have to see if it applies to anything. I mean, I do volunteer work for an adoption service, but it isn't very much like the Bye-Bye adoption service. It is the Bye-Bye adoption service, and although I can remember Mommy and Daddy coming to see me, about 20 years ago, about buying a bumble, I don't remember anyone quite like Mommy and Daddy coming to see me about buying a bumble. Don't you see? It does present quite a problem. I'm going to have to think about it. Mull it. At any rate, it was truly first class of you to try to help me. Will you still be here after I've had my drink of water?
Probably. I'm not as spry as I used to be.
No. Well, I won't say goodbye then.
No, don't. People don't like to say goodbye to old people because they think it frightens them. If they only knew how awful hello and my, you're looking chipper sounded, they wouldn't say those things either. The truth is, there isn't much you can say to old people that doesn't sound just terrible. Come on in. Oh, my, aren't you a breath of fresh air?
Hello there.
My, are you the bandman? The bandman, are you coming to take me away?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, well, my, aren't you something? I said, my, aren't you something?
Thanks.
You don't sound very enthusiastic.
Well, I'm used to it.
Boy, if I were 150 years younger, I could go for you.
Yes, I imagine so.
Would you look at those muscles?
Yes. Quite good, aren't they?
Boy, they sure are. They natural?
Well, the basic structure is there and all. Done some more too. You know, in a gym.
I'll bet you have. You ought to be in the movies, boy.
I know.
Yep, right up there on the old silver screen. But I suppose you've heard that before.
Yes, I have.
You ought to try out for them, the movies.
Well, actually, we haven't a career there yet. We've done the West Coast almost all my life. I met a few people who might be able to help me out. I'm not too much of a hurry, though. Almost as young as I look.
Oh, that's nice. Would you look at that face?
Yes, it's quite good, isn't it? Clean cut, Midwest farm boy type. Almost insultingly good looking. Typically American way. Profile, straight nose, honest eyes, wonderful smile.
Boy, you know what you are, don't you? You're the American dream. That's what you are. All those other people, they don't know what they're talking about. But you are the American dream.
Thanks.
The American dream. What?
What was
The
that,
American dream. The American dream. Damn it.
How's that, Mommy?
Grandma? Oh, just
looking for work.
Are you? What kind of work?
Oh, almost anything. Almost anything that pays, that is. Almost anything for money.
Is you? I wonder if there's anything you could do around here.
There might be. It looks to be a likely building.
Oh, it's always looked to be a rather unlikely building to me. Then I suppose you'd know better than I.
I can sense these things.
There might be something you could do around here. Well, stay there. Don't come any closer.
Sorry.
Oh, I don't mean I'd mind. I don't know whether I'd mind or not. It would look well. It would look just awful.
Yes, I suppose so.
Now, stay there and let me concentrate. What could you do? The folks have been in somewhat of a quandary around here today, a sort of a dilemma. I'm wondering if you mightn't be some help.
Oh, I hope so. If there's money in it. Do you have any money?
Money? Ooh, there's more money around here than you know what to do with.
I'm not so sure.
Well, maybe not. Besides, I have money of my own.
Oh, you have?
Sure. Old people quite often have lots of money, more often than most people expect. Here, let me whisper. Not too close, I might faint.
Sorry.
Oh, that's all right, dear. Anyway, have you ever heard of that big baking contest they run? The one where all the ladies gather together in the big barn and bake away?
I'm not sure.
Not so close. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter whether you've heard of it or not. The important thing is, I don't want anyone to hear this, the folks think that I haven't been out of the house in 8 years. The important thing is that I won first prize in that baking contest this year. Oh, it was in all the papers, not under my own name, though. I used a nom de boulanger. I call myself Uncle Henry. Why not? I didn't see any reason not to. I look as much like an old man as I do an old woman. You know what I won for?
No, what you call it?
I called it Uncle Henry's Day Old Cake.
Very nice name.
It wasn't any trouble at all. All I did was go to the store and get a store-bought cake, and then I left it around a while and then slipped it in unbeknownst to anybody. Simple.
You're a very resourceful person.
Pioneer stock.
Now, is all this true? Do you want me to believe all this?
You can believe it or not, makes no difference to me. All I know is Uncle Henry's Day Old Cake won me 25,000 smackarollas.
25,000?
Right on the old loggerhead. Now, how would you like them apples?
I love them.
I thought you'd be impressed.
So many cost.
Hey, you look familiar.
Pardon?
I said, you look familiar.
Done some modeling.
No, I don't mean that. You look familiar.
Well, I'm a type.
Yep, you sure are. Why did you say you do anything for money? You don't mind not being nosy.
No, by the interview, I'd be happy to tell you why. That I have no real talent at all, except for what you see. The person, my body, and my face. And every other way, I'm incomplete. So I must therefore compensate.
What do you mean, incomplete? You look pretty complete to me.
Well, I think I can explain it to you, partially because you're very old, and very old people have perceptions like to keep to themselves. So if they expose them to others, well, you know what ridicule and neglect are.
I do, child, I do.
Then listen. My mother died the night that I was born. I never knew my father. That's how my mother did. But I wasn't alone, because lying with me in the placenta was someone else. It was my brother, my twin.
Oh, my child.
We were identical twins, he and I. Not fraternal, identical. We were derived from the same ovum. And that we were twins, not from separate ovum, but from the same one. We had a kinship that you could not imagine. We felt each other breathe. His heartbeats thundered in my temples, mine and his. My stomach's ache as I tried to feed at the same time. Are you old enough to understand?
I think so, child. I think I'm nearly old enough.
So, when we were separated, we were still very young. My brother, my twin and I, as much as you get separated when you begin. We were torn apart, thrown to opposite ends of the continent. I don't know what became of my brother, to the rest of myself. Except, from time to time, in the years that have passed, I suffered losses. I can't explain. It's like a fall from grace. Departure of innocence. It's loss. Loss. I don't know how I can put it to you. Alright. It's like this. Once, it was as if all at once, my heart became numb. It's almost as though, or just like that, it had been wrenched from my body. With that time, I've been unable to love. Once. I was asleep at the time. I awoke and my eyes were burning. And since that time, I've been unable to see anything. Anything with pity. Affection. Anything but cruel disinterest. And my growing, even there, since one time, one specific agony, since then, I've not been able to love anyone with my body. Even my hands. I cannot touch another person to feel love. There is more. There are more losses. But it all comes down to this. I no longer have the capacity to feel anything. I have no emotions. I've been drained, torn asunder, disemboweled. I have now, in my person, in my body, in my face. I use what I have. I let people love me. I accept the syntax around me. Well, I know I cannot relate. I know I must be related too. I let people love me. Let people touch me. Let them draw pleasure from my growing, from my presence, from the fact of me. But that is all it comes to. I told you, I'm incomplete. So I can feel nothing. I can feel nothing. So, here I am. As you see me, I am but this, what you see, and it will always be thus.
Oh, my child, my child. I was mistaken before. I don't know you from somewhere, but I knew once someone very much like you. Or very much, perhaps, as you were.
Be careful. Be very careful. What I have told you may not be true. It's in my profession.
Someone, to be more precise, who might have turned out to be very much as you might have turned out to be. And unless I'm terribly mistaken, you found yourself a job.
Well, what are my duties?
Or you'll have to play that by ear, my dear, unless I have a chance to talk with you again. I've got to go and get into my act now.
But I...
Oh, there you are, Grandma. I'm so glad to see somebody. I can find Mommy or Daddy or... Well, who's this?
Well, this is the fan man. That's who it is, the fan man.
So, it's true. They did call the van man. They are having you carted away.
Well, you know, it figures.
How dare you cart this dear old woman away?
I do what I'm paid to do. I don't ask any questions.
Well, you're right, of course, and I should have known.
Oh, dear, would you take these boxes out to the van, please?
Why, certainly. Oh!
thank you enough.
Well, you're welcome. Say it.
Say what?
Say goodbye.
Oh, goodbye. Mommy. I say, Mommy. Daddy.
Goodbye. Me. Goodbye. Oh, hello there.
All the boxes are outside.
Oh, I don't know why I bothered to take them with me, but they don't have much in them. A few old letters, a couple of regrets, Pekingese. Blind with that. My television, my Sunday tea. 86 years of living. Sounds, a few images, a little garbled by now. And well, you know, the things one accumulates.
Can I get you a cab or something?
Oh, no, dear, thank you very much. I'll take it from here.
Well, what shall I do now?
Oh, you stay here, dear. It will all be clear to you. It will be explained. You'll understand.
Very well.
Well,
I want to see you to the elevator.
oh. That would be nice, dear.
I'm glad to tell you that everything is straightened out just like that.
Oh, we're so glad. We thought there might be a problem. What was delays and all?
Yes, we're very relieved.
Well, that's what professional women are for.
Why, where's Grandma? Grandma's gone. Where's Grandma? And look, Daddy, the boxes are gone. Grandma's gone and the boxes are gone. She's taken off, Daddy. She's stolen something, Daddy.
Why, Mommy, the van man was here.
What?
The van man. The van man was here.
No, that's impossible.
I saw him with my own two eyes.
No, that's impossible. There is no such thing as a van man. There is no van man. We made him up. Grandma! Grandma! Grandma!
There now.
Daddy, where's Grandma?
There now.
I want to watch this.
Surprise! Surprise! Here we are.
What?
What?
I told you the surprise I told you about.
You know, Mommy.
Oh, surprise?
You remember Mommy? Why we asked, what's her name, to come here?
Mrs. Barker, if you don't mind.
Yes. Mommy, you remember now about the bumble? About wanting satisfaction?
Oh, of course. Yes, of course. Oh, how wonderful.
This is Mommy.
How do you do?
Her name is Mommy.
How do you do, Mommy?
Hello there.
And that is Daddy.
How do you do,
Oh,
sir?
how do you do?
Oh. Yes, sir. Yes, sirree. Now, this is more like it. This is a great deal more like it. Come see, Daddy. Come see if this isn't a great deal more like it.
I can see from here, Mommy. It does look a great deal more like it.
Yes, sirree. Well, I don't know how to thank you, Miss Barker.
Oh, now don't worry about that. I'll send you a bill in the mail.
Well, this calls for a drink. Calls for a celebration.
Oh, what a nice idea.
There's some sauteing in the kitchen.
I'll go.
Oh, well, how nice. The kitchen's through the doorway there. Woo! Well, he's really very nice, really top-notch, much better than that other one.
Oh, I'm glad you're pleased, and I'm so glad everything is straightened out.
Well, at least we know why we sent for you. At least that's all cleared up. By the way, what's his name?
Oh, call him what you like. He's yours. Call him what you call the other one.
Dad, what do we call that other one?
Why,
Here we are.
Oh, hooray, hooray, good. So let's, 5 glasses. Why 5? There are only 4 of us. Why 5?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You must learn to count. We're a wealthy family, and you must learn to count.
Oh, I will.
Well, everyone take a glass. And we'll drink to celebrate, to satisfaction. Who says you can't get satisfaction these days? Woo!
My, what dreadful sauterne. Yes, it is, isn't it?
Oh, yes, sirree. Yes, you don't know how happy I am to see you. Listen, that time that we had with that other one, I'll tell you all about it after she's gone. She is responsible for all the trouble we had in the first place. But I'll tell you all about it. Maybe later tonight.
Oh, yes. That would be very nice.
You look familiar. You know that? And I can't quite place it.
Well, I guess that about wraps it up. I mean, for better or worse, this is a comedy, and I don't think we better go any further. No, definitely not. So let's leave things as they are right now, while everybody's happy, while everybody's got what he wants, or while everybody's got what he thinks he wants. Good night, dears.
Okay, there'll be a 15-minute intermission, and those of you that are interested in having comp tickets for this evening's performance of Hollywood can get the tickets at the door from the usher. Thank you.
Let me put my program down. I got it.
Yeah. Good.
Yes.
But this is the second. Slower? Yeah. Oh, good.
It's really good.
Two enough? Okay, great. No, I think they play them. It's about them filming a movie that they were in. So we have a different actor. We have a different actors portraying Betty. Yeah, but she's portraying Betty now. Oh, the banquet, yeah. Yeah, I thought it was like the movie I guess it's what happened to them when they were filming the movie that this is about. No. She's long dead before Betty Davis. But it'll, this is the last week for this, for the ALBEE meetings, and then this one will be earlier. Yeah, so yeah. Right. So you'll have to come back.
Yeah, just that senior year. We were so poor You haven't, but we were there just about a month, I think. I want you to meet Mary. Mary. I was just
zoo.
said I've been to the zoo. Hey, mister! I've been to the zoo.
Were you talking to me?
I said I went to the zoo and I walked until I came here. I've been walking north.
North. I believe so. Let me see.
Is that Fifth Avenue out there?
Yes, yes it is.
What's that cross street there? That one to the west.
That's 74th Street.
The zoo was around 65th Street, so I've been walking north.
It would seem so.
Good old north. But not due north.
No, not due north. We call it north. It's northerly.
Well, boy, you're not going to get lung cancer smoking that thing, are you?
No, sir. Not with this.
No, sir. What you'll probably get is cancer of the mouth. And then you have to wear one of those things that Freud wore when they took one whole side of his jaw away. What do they call those things?
Prosthesis.
The very thing, prosthesis. You're an educated man, aren't you? Are you a doctor?
No, I read it somewhere. Time magazine, I think.
Well, Time magazine isn't for blockheads, is it?
No, I suppose not.
Boy, I'm glad that's Fifth Avenue out there. I don't like the west side of the park much.
No? Why not?
I don't know. Do you mind if we talk?
No.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't mind at all.
Yes, you do.
No, really, I don't mind.
It's a nice day.
Yes, it is. Well,
I've been to the zoo.
I believe you said that, didn't you?
Probably. But who listens if you say something only once? You have TV, don't you?
Well, yes, we have two. One for the children.
Oh, you're married.
Certainly.
Oh, it isn't law, for God's sake.
No, of course not.
And you have a wife.
Yes.
You have kids.
Yes, two.
Boys.
No, girls. Both girls.
You wanted boys.
Well, naturally, every man would like to have a son, but
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
I wasn't going to say that.
You're not going to have your own kids, are you?
No, no more. But why do you say that? How would you know these things?
Something in the way you speak, maybe the way you cross your legs. Maybe I'm just guessing. Is it your wife?
No, that's none of your business. You understand? You are right. We'll have no more children.
That is the way the cookie crumbles.
Yes, I guess it is.
Well, now, what else?
You were saying something about the zoo?
Ah, Dave, that's soon enough. Do you mind if I ask you questions?
Not really.
Tell you why I do it. I don't talk to many people, except to say, like, give me a beer, or where's John? What time does the feature go on? Or keep your hands to yourself, buddy. You know, things like that.
I must say, I really don't.
Sometimes I like to talk to somebody. I mean, really talk. I get to know somebody, know all about it.
And am I the guinea pig for tonight?
On a sun-drenched Sunday afternoon in the park like this, we're better than a nice married man, two daughters, and dog.
Is there anything else I should know?
There are two parents. One for each of my daughters.
Birds.
They keep them in a cage in their bedroom.
Do they carry disease? The birds.
I don't believe so.
That's too bad. If they did, you could set them loose in the house, and then the cats could eat them and die, maybe. Well, now, what else? So what do you do to support your enormous household?
Well, I have an executive position with a small publishing house. We publish textbooks.
That sounds nice, very nice. How much do you make?
Now look here.
Come on.
Well, I make about $78,000 a year, but I never carry more than $40 with me at any one time, just in case you're pulled up in it.
What do you do? Come on, look, I'm not going to rob you. I'm not going to kidnap your daughters, your cats, or your parakeets.
I live between Lexington and 3rd Avenue on 74th Street.
That wasn't so hard, was it?
I didn't mean to seem... It's just that you don't really carry on a conversation. You just ask questions. Why don't you just stand there?
I'll walk around in a little while, and eventually, I'll sit down. Say, what's the dividing line between the upper middle class and the lower upper middle class?
My dear fellow.
Hey, my dear fellow me.
Was I being patronizing? Believe I was, I'm sorry. It's just that your question about the classes bewildered.
So when you're bewildered, you become patronizing.
I just don't express myself very well sometimes. I'm in publishing, not writing.
Well, so be it. Truth is, I was being patronizing.
Oh, now you needn't say that.
All right. So, who's your favorite writers? Baudelaire and James Michener.
I like a great many writers. I have a considerable catholicity of taste, if I may say so. Those two men are fine, each in his own way. Baudelaire, of course, is by far the finer of the two, but Michener has a place in our national
Skip it.
You
You know what I did before I went to the zoo today? I walked all the way up Fifth Avenue from Washington Square. I went all the way.
Ah, you live in the village.
I don't. No, I took the subway down to Washington Square so I could walk all the way up to the zoo. It's one of those things a person's got to do sometimes. You got to go a long distance out of your way in order to come back a short distance correctly.
I thought you lived in the village.
Well, what were you trying to do? Make sense out of things? Bring order? The old pigeonhole bit? That's easy. I'll tell you. I live in a 4-story brownstone rooming house on the Upper West Side between Columbus Avenue and Central Park West. I live in the 4th floor, rear, west. It's a laughably small room. One of my walls is made of beaver board. This beaver board separates my room from another laughably small room. So I assumed that the two rooms were once one room, a small room, but not necessarily laughable. It is at this moment that I think I might be doing something